public comments.
The next speaker is.
Go.
Quiet.
There you go. Hello? No?
Officers, lock the doors, please.
You testing?
Nope.
Go to City Attorney's mic down.
No. Just me.
No, it's not just you.
No.
What, meeting? Okay, everybody's having, come on.
We approve, we approve, we approve.
Testing? Mayor, would you like to get a gavel down here?
Wait, I want equal testing
Do you want
time.
this up there? Would you like this up there? Okay.
Okay, here we go. Annette Hillis is the next speaker. Glad you all are enjoying yourselves. And then Roy will do the next.
Good evening, council members. My name is Annette Hillis, and I am a 40-year resident of Hemet. So, I have a vested interest in this city. I rise to strongly oppose warehouse development in our city because this project will harm our community more than it will help. Let's begin with the roads. Myth or not, the infrastructure in the proposed area is not designed to handle the volume and weight of daily semi-truck traffic, which we all acknowledge will occur. Countless diesel trucks will roll through our streets that were built for light local traffic and not industrial transport. The city expects our neighbors in our neighborhoods to just absorb the wear and the congestion. You'd have to be naive to think that these problems will not occur. Next, the environmental impact. Warehouses of this scale are not just buildings. They are sprawling complexes that consume our beautiful open land and emit pollution. On top of that, they are eyesores. Sure, you can have all this greenery all around and some trees and ground cover, but the fact remains they are overwhelmingly unpleasant to look at. The air quality in adjacent neighborhoods home to many children and seniors will suffer. Noise pollution will increase, local wildlife habitats and will be disrupted or destroyed. Nobody, including you, wants to leave that kind of devastating legacy behind. I too use AI, and as far as jobs are concerned, many warehouse jobs will change drastically within the next few years. They're going to be changed to automation and artificial intelligence. Amazon's already doing it, it's happening already. So experts say that there will be a 30 to 50% reduction in warehouse jobs within the next 5 to 10 years.
Right.
This is not a long-term solution. I mean, this is not going to be lasting forever. It's probably just going to be a few years, and then they'll be automated. Let's see. And finally, the retired teacher in me who taught in this valley for decades. I had a poster that I always placed in my classroom from elementary to secondary. What it says applies to this very situation. I truly believe its message. It reads, what is popular is not always right, and what is right is not always popular. So listen to your conscience, listen to your constituents, and do what is right for this community. Thank you very much.
Mayor Michael has 6 minutes, followed by Mike Becker.
Good evening, City Council members. Did I turn it off? There we go. Thank you, sir. Good evening, City Council members and Mayor Peterson. My name is Roy Michael. I am a 10-year resident of Hemet, and I am in opposition of this warehouse. I would like to personally apologize to the City Council for my loud laughter earlier because of what one gentleman said. All I can say to apologize is, I love a good joke. There have been 3 iterations now of this warehouse. It's like they're taking the paperwork and throwing it up against the wall just to see if something will stick. This building is going to be the same size as Kirby. Has that been accepted? Really? I think it's a little late to accept it. It's like accepting a lousy neighbor that moves next door and is going to be there for the rest of your life. Now let's face the facts and reality. The bubble has burst on warehouses. There are currently over 700 empty warehouses in Southern California. Amazon is closing millions of square feet of warehouses per month, and they are the leader in warehouses. Plus, the numbers that I just heard are exactly what I've read. The number of employees in warehouses will drop drastically over the next 5 years. I have suggestions for those who are involved in building this warehouse. Rialto, buy one of those warehouses that are right out on the highway. You can be in business tomorrow. Newland Capital will make plenty of money on this, cash their check, and leave town. The owner, if I could talk to him directly, I would tell him that you have proven to be very good at building houses. Do what you're good at. Build a bunch of houses there, put a big shopping center in there, and that'll be a great gateway to the city of Hemet instead of 1 million square feet of warehouse. I resent being told that I'm against warehouses. I'm not. Warehouses are the lifeblood of the trucking industry. They move so much product, it's unfathomable, so that we can have food in our fridges, we can have a couch in our living room, we can have a nice big bed and a TV in our bedroom. Yeah, I have a big TV in my bedroom. Remember the game that they used to play in Sesame Street, What Doesn't Belong? A horse, a cow, and a skyscraper. What doesn't belong? Warehouses have their place. Way up Warren, up against the mountain, perfect place for them. Absolutely perfect place for them. 12 to 14 miles from a major highway. It's just bringing traffic in, and both of these warehouses we've talked about tonight are way stations. The stuff comes in and then gets shipped out. Minimal amounts of it are coming into Hemet, and there is no sales tax for Hemet in any of this because there's no sales tax involved in all this. Think about Sesame Street. What doesn't belong? They're trying to stick this to us. Please don't let them do it. Thank you.
Next speaker is Mike Becker, followed by Kevin Saunders.
Hello, Mike Becker. I live in Hemet. I own a home in Hemet. That shouldn't have been a bad thing. First time here, first time talking, so thank you all for letting me be here. I'm going to talk about me. I'm going to talk about how this impacts me. There was a comment earlier about this warehouse is perfectly situated in the outskirts of Hemet. I live in the outskirts of Hemet. I live on Warren Road. When I shop Hemet, I drive Warren Road. When I go to a restaurant, I drive Warren Road. When I go to church, I'm on Warren Road. You're not even improving the section that I'm on, the S-turn. Do something there. It is a mess. You start having trucks going up and down that road is going to be under repair constantly. The stop sign at Stetson and Warren is not set up for the cars that go there. Start on one side, go to the other car, and your car is bouncing like that from the big trucks, slamming the brakes on and pushing the hot asphalt. It's not nice. This is going to continue. It's going to get worse as these trucks start coming down Warren, and that S-turn is just going to become more dangerous. There's times right now I wait 5 minutes to turn left. Now I'll have to wait for the traffic to get past the stop sign before I can get onto Warren. So that's my concern. That's me. There's a lot of other people that live along Warren or that take Warren or take Stetson, take any of the other roads. And your little fix of Simpson along where you're building and the little stretch from Simpson to Warren to the bridge, well, who's that for? Oh, the trucks. Yeah. The road hasn't even expanded, but you put a little stuff along the side. What does that benefit? No one. No one. So that's it. That's me. I'm here. Thank you.
Kevin Saunders, followed by Thomas Schneider. Mr. Saunders?
Excuse me. Mr. Saunders, I think, had to leave. He, as you know, runs the Chamber of Commerce, and he was at the facility today. And he supports the project for the local businesses, but he
Thanks,
couldn't
Mr.
start.
Thomas Schneider? Followed by Donna Swanson.
Good evening. I wasn't expecting to be here tonight because I was here before and spoke before you, and I thought this project was pretty much over with. But here I am at great expense. This is my 52nd wedding anniversary. I should be having dinner with my wife, not here. So I greatly oppose this thing. You there? I listened to some of the stuff, some of the people talking here, and you know, the old antics just keeps coming to my mind that I can't get out of it. Figures don't lie, but liars can figure. And I'm listening to stuff here going, oh my God, where do they get these numbers? 2 trucks an hour? You can't run a warehouse on 2 trucks an hour. You'll go broke. So, also, there's been no mitigation here. There's still pollution, still things going on. Some of the comments I heard were that, gosh, we're gonna hire people here because our Rialto place has trouble keeping employees. They keep going to Walmart and keep going here. Well, pay them more money. That's why they're leaving. And to my construction brothers back here, you knew the job when you took it. It involves travel. I'm an attorney, retired. I drove 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours every day. Go to different courts, moving around, choice I make. The other thing that's interesting is these people are right. Warehouses are being automated all over the country. There's not going to be jobs here. The jobs are going to be next to nothing. The only jobs are going to be repairing the robots that are working in the warehouse. Also, for the young man who went online and looked, I was coming home from San Diego last week, and a little thing popped up that said, 10 ugliest cities in California. Guess what? Hemet's number 5 on the list. If you think a warehouse is going to make us less ugly, you're smoking something I don't think we should be doing. I mean, you're going in the likes of Victorville, Fresno, Bakersfield, and Hemet. Wow. That doesn't fit. Like you said, Sesame Seed, what doesn't fit? And to my councilman, Mr. Males, I'm in District 4. I do live in Hemet. I moved to Hemet last 4 years because I liked living here. I traveled Warren Road for years going to Lake Havasu from Marietta, where I came from, and a warehouse doesn't fit. If they want a warehouse, there's 2 of them right there on the freeway in Menifee. They've been empty for 2 years. Right by the freeway, they're empty. A good friend of mine has a business right next door. Empty. Thank you.
Donna Swanson, followed by Leticia Leon.
Hi, I'm Donna, and I've been a resident of Hemet for 9 years, and I'm going to make this really quick. I am no for warehouse, and a reminder, the city planners voted 5-0, no warehouse. The city council voted 5-0, no to warehouse, and because of an error, I believe in filing, that's why we're all still doing this, and I hope you all remember why we voted you voted 5-0, no warehouse. Thank you.
Leticia Leon. Marcelo Martinez, Donna Martinez. Tom Austin.
Thanks for letting me speak. My name's Tom Austin. I am a happy resident in our beautiful Solera Diamond Valley in Hemet. And I strongly oppose this warehouse. First off, I, not being derogatory, but I am disappointed, like what Donna just said, that you as a group disapproved this project earlier and allowed it to come back through some sweet talking, I guess. Also, I want to reiterate what Donna said, that our own city planning commission strongly disapproved this. And it's shocking that, that committee and that group pass that on to you, and you're hopefully not gonna approve it with their disapproval. So anyway, I just don't want you to approve this and, further tarnish our city and our valley. A couple examples that I've lived through. We are, Solera Diamond Valley, we're the closest senior citizen community. We're directly, affected by this. Our lifestyle, the noise, the roads. Warren, Dominigoni. I've been out a couple times, the last few months on a day trip for something in and out, in the middle of the week, middle of the day, and come back, and I've had a hard time getting off Dominigoni to get on to Warren. And in the morning, the rush hours and nighttime, it's the same way going both ways on and off that bridge. So I consider that above all other things a showstopper on this, that bridge. There is just no way that, I think it's preposterous to even think that intersection could support heavy, extensive, and slow-moving trucks coming on and off. It just is not gonna work. So I don't see how we could get past that point. And I haven't seen anything that would get us there. I'll give you another example of some of the times builders will propose nice things and building things. I got a couple examples how that doesn't work. Our two new warehouses, Kirby and the one on Wentworth across from Dunkin' Donuts, they're built. They're gonna build, improve the streets or something. What they did in both places, they paved the immediate lane directly in front of their buildings. They did not even have the decency to pave the whole street, both lanes. And the Kirby one involves 4 lanes, so they did 2 lanes. So I don't know if there's an oversight on your part, or the city.
Your comments are up, Mr. Austin. Thank you.
Next speaker is Shaul. Followed by Mity Carver.
Council, Mayor, my name is Shaul Rosen Raer. I'm here on behalf of myself and as a representative of the Green Coalition of San Jacinto Valley. And I'm going to cut my comments in half because I respect your time and you've heard it all. You've heard it all many times. I just want to encourage you to remember that these warehouses are being rejected by communities all over the Inland Empire for the same reason they're rejected here when they're near residential areas. I want you to be proud of Hemet. I want you to think long term. This is your legacy. We don't want to be known as a warehouse city or diesel valley. And we just hired North Star to create a brand for our city. Let's stay true to our heritage, to our values, to the community we love, and not be known as dirty, noisy, desperate warehouse city. Thank you so much.
Mity Carver. Followed by Kathy Carver.
Good evening, council and everyone here. My name is Mity Carver, and I have been a resident of Hemet for over 30 years. My husband and I raised our children here, and I love our beautiful valley. I also oppose to the warehouses in Hemet for 3 basic reasons. Number 1, too much dangerous air and noise pollution from the high volume of diesel trucks. We are a valley, and that traps the pollution along the mountains and the foothills. This was also confirmed by the experts you invited last year from UCR. Pollution is a fact of warehouses. Number 2, the destruction of our city roads that you have been working hard to repair and improve. I'd hate to see all your terrific work and our money wasted by constant heavy trucks tearing up these very roads. Truck damage to roads is another fact of warehouses. Number 3, according to an article in the Orange County Register in August 2023, the number of empty warehouses in Southern California tripled in just the 2 years from 2021 to 23. That comes to 47 million square feet of empty warehouse space, and approximately 18 million of that empty space is already in the Inland Empire. So I think the warehouse bubble is bursting, and Hemet is likely to end up with big, empty monster buildings. And the one thing we don't need is another empty building. Please, empty buildings do not offer jobs either. Since the first warehouse in town hasn't even opened yet, I think it prudent to wait and see how things develop with this warehouse before building more in town.
That's right.
I met with the branding consultants last month, and I wish I'd known then about the YouTube slideshow song, Welcome to Hemet, by Donna Martinez. If you haven't watched it, I strongly recommend you do. The slideshow presents our Ramona play, our nature trails, lakes, horse ranches, golf courses, and the Thomas Kincaid painting of our train station, all with clear, sunny skies. The video definitely shows Hemet as a respite to all the freeways and warehouses in the Inland Empire. Hemet can't be both a city with access to natural beauty and recreation, as well as a diesel truck warehouse town. The two images don't coexist. In fact, warehouses and their trucks will destroy the beauty and calm shown in the video. Finally, in conclusion, rather than only looking to outside investors to help develop Hemet, I strongly urge you and our community to invest in ourselves. The steps coming up to this room have the names of community members who supported building this library. I also remember the SOS campaign to save our station that is now a historical landmark. Both of these projects will also provide local jobs to complete. We can build things and we can do it ourselves. We can do this.
Kathy Carver, followed by Melanie Moyer.
Good evening. My name is Kathy Carver. I'm a resident of Hemet. I've lived here for 8 years. I'm concerned about the mega warehouses. I think regular sized warehouses, actually the one on Wentworth has a functioning business in it where there's people that can drive to work. We need more of that kind of investment in Hemet. Can't hear me? Sorry about that. I've commuted for 33 years for my career. The last 3 years I commuted to New York. So if anybody's complaining about their commute, it's the job you picked, whatever reason, you can get up and move, but I didn't, I commuted. Anyway, Hemet's 2024 school district consists of 22 schools with 22,000 students. Hemet's retired people over the age of 65 is 2,225. The toxic fumes from diesel fuel, brakes, and tires cause asthma, heart issues, emphysema, and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or COPD. Please remember your 5-0 Planning Commission vote, and that was voted by the Planning Commission, and your vote on April 8th turning down this project. This new plan does not change the past issues that we have raised. Hemet may need jobs, but I question the various speakers as to their even being from Hemet, we need to be supported by our local community. We need industry training, jobs, and clean businesses. I think you're all as tired as I am, so I'm gonna stop.
Melanie Moyer, followed by Megan Singer.
I was not planning on talking. My name is Melanie Moyer. Both my parents were born and raised in the Hemet Valley, so I have a lot of love for this valley. Even though I did not grow up in here, I was a teacher, retired school teacher in Marietta. I went on to Seattle to raise my children for 32 years, came back here and retired, and bought a home in the Solera Diamond Valley. And I moved here because it was beautiful. The hills, isn't it gorgeous? I mean, when I come in from Beaumont, I go, wow, this is so beautiful. I can understand why my parents loved it here so much. And my other family is Rosemary Sears, Linda, you know her. And she's 98, she would have been here today, but she was tired. So she said, Melanie, can you go talk? For me, the warehouses are ugly, sorry. I was driving down Warren Road, so I live on Warren Road in Mustang. And I love it here. I love the community, I support it. That warehouse is so ugly, I will not be able to see the beautiful hills anymore. And that's why I bought there. I will not stay here if those are built, I promise you that. And since I'm retired, my investment for my retirement is my home. I'm gonna lose $50,000 when those warehouses go in. I already know it. And another thing is developers, you don't live here. You don't live here. You don't understand the community. A warehouse is not gonna bring in jobs, guys. It's not. Maybe for 18 months, though I believe in jobs, I believe in capitalism, I love America, but those people that were back here wanting the warehouses, they're gonna be here for 18 months, and then they're out of here, somewhere else. Anyway, thank you so much, City Council.
Megan Singer.
That's me.
6 minutes.
Thank you.
Followed by Gus Lua.
Hi, everybody. So my name is Megan Singer. I'm a homeowner here in Hemet. My husband was also here with me. He planned to talk. Unfortunately, he needed to take the littles home. They were back there running amok, absolutely a mess. So I will be speaking for him as well. We are both warehouse employees. We worked for the same company together in Paris. I've worked for that company for 9 years. That company has left California. They left California because they were leasing from another company for that facility, and they doubled the cost of rent on that facility. The lease doubled. So my husband and I are both losing our jobs. I lost my job in May. I have been on a job hunt since February when I found out that I was losing my job. I worked there for 9 years. I have a bachelor's degree. I'm on the cusp of my master's degree. I have a resume that speaks to my experience and knowledge in the warehouse. I worked as traffic control. I know what the trucks look like when they're coming in and coming out. I know what that traffic looks like, and it's not nearly as bad as it's being made out to be. I have experience that says, my resume says, I should have gotten a job by now. But companies, warehousing companies, they're leaving California because the cost that it takes to lease a facility. Right now, this is a building that is being built for the purpose of a company that wants to be here. They're building it, they're taking the cost to build it. That means it's not going anywhere. They're not gonna be leaving immediately because they're spending too much money, too much investment to be here. So people who are looking for long-term jobs are gonna be more likely to get one with this company who's going to put the investment out there. Then the people like myself, when we go to lunch, we're gonna eat at a local restaurant. When we go shopping, we're gonna go to someplace nearby. There's plenty of those. Warehouses are standing empty all over California, not because warehousing companies don't want to be here, they can't afford the lease. So let's not force this company to have to screw up and go someplace else because they can't afford the lease, so that you guys won't let them build here and they don't want to lease. They don't want to lease. right? If they don't wanna lease, they wanna build, that means they're gonna be here for a long time. That's gonna put the city up better. That's gonna allow people to make money, families to be able to keep jobs. I can myself pay for my own kids. I should have gotten a job by now, but there's not enough warehouses in California anymore. That's just the way that is. My husband is working on that, and he's been working in that same company. I've been on a job hunt since February. I have been to 20, 30 interviews. I've put in about 300 applications. Most of them are ghost jobs, which is a very common thing. A lot of industrial organizational psychologists have studied ghost jobs, and companies put them out there a lot to make it look like they're hiring, but they're not. This company is going to. They're going to hire. My husband is already through the interview process for the Kirby facility with hopes to get a job there. I'd like to be able to apply for the Simpson facility if it gets put up. Working in the same building as my husband is problematic. Having a second building gives me an opportunity, right? I'm not the only one. I worked with lots of people that in my warehouse. Half my team at Paris lived out here in Hemet, half of them. I had a large team. There was about 50 of us. Half of them lived out here in Hemet. They're all out of jobs. They're all out jobs because that company left because the lease is too expensive to keep. So I asked the councilman to consider not just, the financial costs, but the personal impacts to people who are looking for jobs. That's what I have to say. Thank you.
Gus Lua, followed by David Yang.
Hello, my name is Gustavo Lua. Thank you, council members, for having us here. For the past 12 years, I've had the privilege of growing with Rialto Distribution. I began the journey with them in 2013 as a warehouse manager in Carson, California. Today, I'm the vice president of the operations, overseeing several locations totaling over 5 million square feet, including our flagship 1 million square foot facility in Rialto. The growth, excuse me, the growth we've experienced as a company and that I've experienced personally has been nothing short of extraordinary. I am deeply grateful to have been part of the remarkable journey. Throughout that journey, I've witnessed firsthand the evolution of our company has been driven by an unwavering commitment to our employees, customers, and business success. We're very much looking forward to bringing the same unwavering commitment to the city and residents of Hemet. With our lasting impressions into the building on Kirby and the building on Simpson, I truly believe that there's strong alignment between the city of Hemet goals to provide equity and local jobs for its residents and the mission of Rialto Distribution. We understand how important it is for people to have job opportunities close to their homes and are excited to be able to provide that opportunity to the residents of Hemet. I've started the interviews already with several Hemet residents over the last 2 weeks, and it's overwhelmingly a lot of heartwarming stories that I've heard from several interviewees that have to wake up their kids at 5 o'clock in the morning and drive for 2.5 hours to drop their kids off at a daycare that's close to where they're working. We at Rialto Distribution want to be able to provide jobs at driving distance where people can actually spend time with their kids, go back home and prep a meal for them, spend time with them at their local events, extracurricular activities. I've heard several people here speak about automation. I've been with the company for over 10 years. None of our facilities currently have any automation, and it's not in the horizon anytime soon. I understand.
Your comments, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Richard Wing here. Mr. Yang has 6 minutes.
Okay, I'm not gonna need it all, because like somebody else said, it's been said, but I have some questions. You said that your company serves companies such as Walmart, Target, Costco. Are these the companies that are moving into this warehouse? Have they committed to our warehouse that you want to build in Hemet? If they are, I'd like to hear that. Do I hear anything? Thank you. You also talk about a 40% reduction. Is that in square footage? I'm gonna assume it is, in which case your numbers are wrong. You can't go from 1.2 million to almost 900,000 and reduce it by 40%. So I don't know what else to believe. You know, I'm thinking about a smaller warehouse, 900,000. But you're gonna try and move the same amount of goods through that warehouse, correct? I'm assuming you are, otherwise you're giving up business. So to move the same amount of goods through a smaller warehouse means more frequent trips. Not less, more. You've got to turn it over faster. You got to get those trucks in and out of there faster. So you're going to create more trips, more pollution, more noise, more destruction of the roads. You're not going to make it better. You're going to make it worse. And I keep hearing about jobs. Really? One robot, just one, probably can work 7 hours, 8 hours a day, 7 hours a week, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. That's 168 hours. That's 4 full-time, 40-hour per week employees. And you don't think a smart businessman's gonna put that robot in there? It's coming. If it's not on the horizon, you're living on a flat world. And the roads, that bridge that goes on the Dominigoni, really, is that gonna support that traffic? So what are they gonna do? Just back up? Or just start driving on other roads to get on the Dominigoni?
Yeah.
So, you know, more traffic, more breakdown of roads, more pollution, more noise. So, like I said, it's all been said pretty much before. I do want to say that if you approve this project, you're opening up the floodgates. There'll be no way you can deny other projects, and you really will ruin this town. Thank you.
Kathy Schmidt? Smith? Followed by Pam Yang.
Yang.
Thank you, City Council members. My name is Kathy Schmidt. I have lived in the Hemet area since the mid-1960s. My parents have owned property in here, in this area, since the 50s. I hadn't planned to speak today, but here I am. I do want to, most people have said already what I would have said about pollution, about traffic, the destruction of our roadways by heavy trucks that'll be constantly going in and out. You already know that. I wanted to point out that we had several union construction people speak in favor of it. Those people are here temporarily. Those construction jobs are temporary. They'll take their money and leave town. They don't actually live here. We live here. Now, the jobs that the warehouses would provide are non-union jobs, and they're low pay. You're talking about providing homes here for people. Those people with minimum wage jobs can't afford to buy a home here. So those jobs that the warehouses would provide are of minimal value. And it's been pointed out that warehouses are going towards automation. So those jobs in the warehouses won't even be there. And think of the size of a warehouse, the amount of property that takes up for what could be in its place. Businesses like Trader Joe's, which we would all like to see come here, won't come here because of warehouses. Actually, they look at the population and the median wage. Warehouse wages are not going to bring the kinds of businesses we want here. That's all I want to say.
Followed by Carol Simar.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and council members. I'm Pam Yang, and this is the 6th time I've spoken before you concerning the warehouses. I hope it's the last. Before I spoke about its humongous size and its obstruction of the sun and our beautiful valley and mountains, the trucks' noise, pollution, traffic, and wrecking the roads. I hope you all are listening to us tonight. We do not take this warehouse thing lightly, with plans of hop-skitching warehouses all over town. When I was growing up, there was an area in town where there were warehouses, factories, and the like, and we referred to it as the other side of the tracks. Houses on the other side of the tracks sold for less money because of the noise, the traffic, and the unsightly buildings surrounded them. As a reminder, the City of Hemet's goal is to create viable neighborhoods and sustain high quality of life for Hemet citizens, and to make Hemet a desirable place to live, work, and play. With that goal in mind, please let's stop planning warehouses and work on plans for educational buildings, new housing developments, trade schools, more restaurants, and grocery stores. I applaud you for the new Vallarta supermarket. We are lamenting over the loss of Joann's, and we need a fabric shop. We would love a Trader Joe's. Once again, I will remind you that the people who live in the areas near the warehouses have higher incidences of asthma and other health problems, especially children. Don't make Hemet the city on the other side of the tracks. Hemet's citizens deserve better. Hemet citizens' lives matter. Vote no on warehouses. My husband and I, who just spoke, have been here for 11 years.
Carol Simar. And Mayor, I would just note that we have 32 speaker cards left. You put them in. And Ms. Smart has 9 minutes.
All right, so I apologize ahead of time. I know I'm going to be repeating things that you've already heard, but as you can see, I had my text ready. So my name is Carol Simar. Good evening, everybody in the audience and council members. Thank you to those who gave me their minutes to speak. Thank you, City Council, for opening this special City Council meeting. I am a resident of Hemet, the Del Webb community, and tonight, in the spirit of streamlining presentation times, I will speak for both my spouse and myself. We oppose the Newland Simpson project. I know that some people think of the Del Webb residents as old retired people and that we should have done our due diligence before purchasing our house. Some residents in our community bought their home in 2006. I wonder what due diligence they could have done back then to anticipate the construction of mega warehouses near their newly purchased home. We bought our house in 2014, and it never occurred to us that such a thing could happen on our doorstep. The only thing that we were expecting was a shopping center at the corner of Florida and Warren, and we know now that that never happened and doesn't look like it will. Now that we are aware of such a project, the Newland Simpson project, we are trying to voice our disapproval. As parents, don't we want better for our children than what we had? I know I do. I think that Hemet should be forward thinking rather than looking in the past for projects to improve the city. Warehouses, as presented in the applicant proposal, are almost a thing of the past. As you remember, I'm sure, the initial project was voted down not to recommend to City Council by the Planning Commission 5-0, and it was voted 5-0 by City Council not to approve this project. It wasn't denied either, as we heard before. At that time, without adequate overriding considerations, there were significant unmitigable and unavoidable impacts that are summarized in the staff report as loss of prime farmland, exceedance of greenhouse gas emission, significant noise impacts at nearby sensitive receptors, and excessive vehicle miles traveled not meeting CEQA thresholds. The revised project has not changed the overall picture to reduce the impact below significant levels. In spite of a claim of a 40% reduction in size of the project, all the key concerns that the city had at the April meeting remain. From the report of the revised project, loss of farmland is unchanged. The report characterized the land as, quote, underutilized. That's on page 80 in the overriding considerations. Until very recently, there were people working on that land, growing and harvesting food nearly 365 days a year. I don't consider that underutilized. The report also states that the greenhouse gas impact remains as significant and unavoidable, page 128 in the report. The off-site noise impact at adjacent sensitive sites is still significant and unavoidable for segments of Simpson, Warren, and Mustang roads, page 65. The excessive vehicles miles traveled impact remains as significant and unavoidable, page 67. These unavoidable and unmitigable impacts and the resulting pollution will cause a degradation in the quality of life for the residents, and in some cases, lifetime reduction. To offset these impacts, the staff report presents an analysis of the economic benefits. What is presented in the staff report are various construction and operating costs and fees, including labor costs. Labor costs are presented in projected job counts. There is no indication as to what the benefits are specific to city employment, and either no commitment or obligation from the applicant to hire a Hemet-based workforce. And even if they did, how long would it last with robotization that has already started in other warehouses? No consideration or accounting of negative factors regarding the city budget from the increase in traffic, road maintenance, etc. is presented. We, owners of residences living near warehouses in a city that is promoting warehouse development, have a good idea of the economic impact. A reduction in property values, in some cases that will result in less tax revenues. Don't be confused by the revised project, which assesses a reduction in impact. The impacts remain significant and unavoidable without adequate overriding and considerations, as it was when you voted against this project. Please don't let the applicant pull the wool over your eyes. This new proposal is nothing different from the previous proposal. My spouse and I are opposed to the Newland Simpson warehouse project. We say yes to local jobs in retail and other types of jobs, but no to warehouses in Hemet. Please reject this project. Please vote no. Thank you all for your time and consideration.
Let's begin with Sherry Simson. Erica. Sherry Simonson. Simonson. Thank you. Okay. Followed by Erica Arpaccio.
My name is Sherry Simonson, and I'd like to thank you for your time. You've had to sit here all night long, listen to this numerous times. I think you know the side of the room, majority all oppose this, and we find it very disruptive to our community, to such a lovely backcountry road, the wildlife there. When I moved here 5.5 years ago, it was very green, lush farmland. I left Chino Hills because it was growing so. When I first moved there, you had a small dairy right down the street. You had the wild Canadian geese that would come every year. Now it's a shopping center. And I moved here to have this more rural, I guess, area. I am still working. I make the commute on Don Magoni. It is 16 miles from where Warren Road is in Don Magoni to the 15 freeway. It is 16 miles. It is 36 traffic signals. It takes me 50 to 60 minutes to go that distance. You add this many more trucks coming back and forth into our town, it is going to double that. I get to the freeway and I can make it to where I work in Brea and Yorba Belinda in a half hour. Yet I'm spending an hour of my time just to get to the freeway from this city, what I thought was small rural area. Everybody has voiced their opinions. I don't want to have to repeat everything they have said, but I think you understand we oppose this dearly and hope you will vote against it. We thought we had that passed once before, but yet we are here again. And I don't want to take up any more of your time. There are so many of us you have to listen to. So I thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Erica Arpaccio. Erica Arpaccio. Thank you. Followed by Royal Frazier.
Good evening, Mayor, Council Member, and fellow residents. My name is Erica. I am a resident of Hemet, and I am against the project. My husband and I each commute up to 140 to 160 miles round trip. So I am aware of waking up early in the mornings and the long hours you have to sit in traffic. Even then, we are aware when we moved to Hemet, that was a sacrifice we needed to do in order to enjoy the beautiful scenery of Hemet. But also we do not see how a warehouse that has a high turnover, low paying wages will be the answer to the prosperity and the potential Hemet has. I am here tonight to respectfully urge you, especially Councilmember Joe Mills, my district representative, to please fully reject and deny permanently this warehouse. This project doesn't just pose a traffic or health concern, it threatens the very identity and future of Hemet. It would bring thousands of diesel truck trips daily to our roads, funneling heavy industrial traffic. And let's talk about the Warren Road Bridge. It's too narrow, too old, and completely unprepared for this kind of traffic. I did not see anything in the proposal for the company that is building the warehouse that they would do anything for this bridge. So what happens? That is gonna fall on the city to fix. And where does that funding come from? Our tax dollars. There is something even bigger at stake. Hemet's image. This warehouse will be the first thing people see coming into our city on the Minigoni Parkway, our main gateway. Instead of a scenic open space and mountain views, visitors will see loading bays, truck traffic, and an industrial box. Is that the message you want to send? Because in truth, Hemet is at a crossway. Are we trying to rebrand as a growing, vibrant city, one with retail, restaurants, community gathering spaces, and smart development? Or are we quietly rebranding as a warehouse town, a pass-through city of trucks and storage? Warehouses don't build a future, they block it. Congestion, pollution, low-wage jobs. And once you allow one like Kirby, many more will come. Please do not let these AI pictures paint you a false image of what could potentially be. There are better alternatives. This land could support retail, small business spaces, local services, places that generate tax revenue, and attract visitors and serve our residents. That's how we strengthen our economy without sacrificing our identity. The Planning Commission recommended denial. Actual residents of Hemet have made their voices clear that we do not want this. Now we're asking you, what kind of Hemet do you want to build? Deny this warehouse, protect our health and our roads and the face of our city. Thank you and have a good night.
Followed by Manny Jimenez.